So what was the odds of that horse? 15 to 1?
At least.
Yeah. You guys should work on your betting careers.
You look at his past performances, his last 2 races at Mount 8, he went backward.
13 to 1 over 2 to 1 over 45 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah, the other horse I threw out.
Yeah, I put win.
I should have picked that one.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Term of art.
Well, the horse that paid $150,000 to race didn't get much, did he?
You posted on Facebook 20 minutes ago, always dreaming. It won't even be close. I just responded, you're right. He wasn't even close.
Okay.
Are you getting ready to announce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
257 over looking at 2579.
Chi-Chi's isn't even around anymore. Chi-Chi's was like 15 years ago. Oh, it was Chi-Chi's, then it was,
Hello?
Jimmy Buffett's place.
Say something.
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Colony Park North in York, Pennsylvania for the final regular season event in season 18 of the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. We would like to welcome you. Joining me today on my left, your right, Travis Boom Boom.
Hello.
Joining on my right, to your left, Skip Moyer. And as always, I'm the one your mother warned you about, the fat guy, PAA Fats. We are getting ready to start. We have calculated the
Results.
results. Thank you. Here we go. In the scratch division, your leader plus 210. We've heard this a lot. Andrew Lazarchuk. Second place plus 182. Dylan Zimmerman. Third place plus 173. Alex Glinsky. Fourth place plus 77. Ryan Taylor. And at plus 75, Isaac Erickson. Sixth place, cashing $30. At plus 65, the Prodigy, Daniel Altup. Okay, that is your scratch. In handicap, leader Ren Williamson plus 288. Second place plus 60, Mary Beth Baker. Ashton Kozak plus 57. Allie McGinley plus 48. And plus 8, David Swavely making the cut. The ceremony for the finals. What? YouTube, PJBT, bowling series. All right. So, as usual, the message board is live and operational. Feel free to post a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, we will be happy to answer them. It's good to have Travis with us today.
Don't ask us any handicapping questions. We just screwed up the Preakness.
Yeah, that didn't go too well.
No. I only lost, I think $11.
That's not bad. I lost a little more.
I'd like to know what happened to Always Dreaming.
Yeah, it's not like the pace was very fast, 46 and 4.
You're at a 23-8 the first quarter.
That's slow for him. 46 and 4 is basically what he did in the Derby.
If there's any win, he got tired.
The only thing we didn't really have the only thing we didn't have the advantage of to see what the dirt races were like on the
Yes.
previously on the card to see if speed was holding. So,
Yes.
all right, enough with the horse racing talk. Let's. Hey, you want to hear a good rally story? Andrew Lazarchik, our leader, yeah, he shot 138 first game,
138.
then backed it up with 248. Yeah, 248, 245, I believe 221 in game 4.
I guess he made some changes.
Kind of had to. Well, he said
Changes.
he and I were talking. I think he said he bounced the ball off his ankle a couple times that first game and just couldn't get comfortable. But
That's gotta hurt.
oh, and it has hurt. If I may offer a public service announcement to our youth bowlers who are headed to Junior Gold, 2 things. First of all, here at Colony Park North, over the next couple Monday nights, except for Memorial Day, and every Monday night leading up to Junior Gold, which would be, I think July 10th would be the last Monday, we're going to put sports shots out for the kids to practice on. Different one each week. You can go on to the Facebook at juniorbowling.com to see the entire schedule or message me or my wife, Jen. $8 for 90 minutes of practice starting at 7, plus coaching will be available. My wife, Jen, will be here. Rotogrip Rick and I will be here as well, and had 1 or 2 other coaches say they will stop by and be part of it as well for those who need a little bit of coaching as well. We had 8 at the first session on Monday night. We're going to have a couple more here at the next session this Monday night. We're off on Memorial Day, and then we'll do it again every Monday night in June and the first 2 Monday nights in July.
That's a great idea for those of you who are going to Junior Gold that live in the area. In a little while, we'll also discuss a bowling camp in the Limerick area right before Junior Gold. Are you ready, Matthew? We are ready to go. All right, on to Matthew for introductions.
Finalists for the final regular season event of the 18th season of the PJBT. Here at Colony Park Lanes North, let's start with the scratch division. Our 5th seed today from Lidditz, Pennsylvania, Isaac Erickson.
Your 5th seed on the scratch side from Lidditz, Pennsylvania, Isaac Erickson. From Hamilton, New Jersey, Ryan Taylor is your 4 seed. Alex Glinsky, your number 3 seed.
Winner of that match will advance to the semifinal to take on our number 2 seed from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Dylan Zimmerman.
Number 2 seed, Dylan Zimmerman.
And the winner of that semifinal match will advance to the title match to take on our tournament leader at +210 from Brick, New Jersey, Andrew Lazarchik.
And Andrew Lazarchik, your leader. Boy, those top 3 look awfully familiar. All seniors, by the way, and thankfully they're going far away next year.
Our 5th seed today from Saratoga, Pennsylvania, David Swavely.
On the handicap side from Saratoga, Pennsylvania, your 5th seed, David Swavely.
It's Sanatoga. You got horse racing on your
sorry.
head.
Sorry. Allie McGinley, your 4 seed. Well, I kind of am watching it right now.
That's true.
Winner of the first match will advance to the second step-ladder match against our 3rd seed from Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, Ashton
Ashton
Kozak.
Kozak from Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, your 3rd seed.
Will advance to our semifinal to take on our number 2 seed from Sellersville, PA, Mary Beth Baker.
Mary Beth Baker is your 2 seed.
And the winner of that semifinal match will advance to take on our tournament leader, who amazingly had more than a 200-pin lead on the field. From Hamilton, New Jersey, Ren Williamson.
And Ren Williamson is your top seed. I can't even see her over the table.
Let's have one more round of applause for that.
All right, so they are your top seeds for the handicap division. Interesting. Usually on these challenge shots, the average height of the handicap division is about 3'10". It's a little bit taller today.
Just a little, yes.
Yes, Prodigy. What could we do for you?
I don't know.
Wait, was that the 8 horse that finished?
Oh, that was senior investment. Okay.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
258. Okay. I thought it was the 7. I got the saddle towels mixed up. Okay.
Yes, Prodigy. What could we do for you?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So today we are bowling on the Montreal oil pattern. While you got the headphones on, Prodigy, tell us, how did you attack Montreal?
Fairly straight the entire day. I never got left of 28. And once I got to 28, I actually switched balls and moved back right. To start, I played up 5-ish. Then I moved to 10, played that out to 5. The break point all day was between 5 and like 8. Is about where you wanted to get the ball. But if you got it outside of 5, you're hoping for 7. 7 was good if you got it out there. And I threw pretty strong equipment up until match play. Then I switched to a ball that hooks pretty hard in the back, but it's still pretty strong, but it was a pearl. Then I switched to the tag at the end, which does the same thing as the other ball, just a lot less. And did you know that the tag's actually a solid?
Nope.
It's actually a solid.
So the Prodigy had a chance to make it to the top 5. If he struck out in the 10th, he actually would have been the 3 seed.
What?
Because you went
Surprise.
strike 7-2.
Glinsky is who's the 2-3? Glinsky's a 3 seed at like 170.
I'm sorry.
I'd be the 4 seed.
Sorry, you'd be in the 4 seed. My apologies.
So I would have had lane choice.
But instead, you finished just out of the cut at 6th, which is still good enough for some scholarship funds on the day. Somebody with 3 cute kids says, "Go David." And John wants to know what's popping.
I don't know.
Some corn maybe somewhere?
That's corn. C-O-R-N. Corn.
Yes, corn, yes.
It's a family show here.
That's what I didn't say the P. Yes. So are these new monitors since the last time? Something's new.
New scoring. They had it put in here at Colony Park North during the Christmas break. It's kind of necessary. And I think the learning curve, the bowlers and staff have gotten used to it. So we had the old AccuScore XL, and now we have the same scoring that Laser Alleys has, their sister center.
So it looks like on the handicap side, David will be giving Allie 19 pins. So I'm going to grant everybody's wish that's listening, and I'm going to pretty much shut my mouth, and we're going to let Travis do most of the calling of the match, because trust me, he's about 56 times better at this than I am, with his previous life being in radio, and he did a lot of high school football commentary back in the day.
I never did keep count of how many games I actually did. We had a combination of doing play-by-play, doing color commentary, calling in updates for games, keeping stats for television games. I've lost count.
Okay.
I can tell you that I have been to every state championship for football in the last 18 years.
All right, game number 1. In the scratch side, we have 4th seed Ryan Taylor from Hamilton University versus 5th
right, ladies and gentlemen, and off we go. Stepping in as well, we have a mystery commentator. Mystery commentator, please say something that we could start trying to figure out who you are.
Let's just say that I've been watching the PJBT series for about 15 years. Maybe longer.
About it, you're right. It's about 15 years. Strikes on both sides to start the match. Ryan Taylor on the scratch side. Allie McGinley on the handicap side.
Let's see, what other hint can I give? He lives in New Jersey, and he'll be at championship weekend.
That's all you need to know.
Yes.
You think that lets the cat out of the bag?
Oh, yes.
Well, maybe one more. He's had a fairly decent career on the PBA Tour.
And before that, a good JBT career, too.
Just luckier than most.
Welcome, Parker.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be back. Things are spicing up, obviously, for the stepladder finals here in both the scratch and the handicap division once again. A little bit more of a challenging condition that the players bowled on today. Kind of keeping everybody on their toes. And one thing that I've always said, a firm believer of it, doesn't matter whether the scores are high or low for everybody out there. You know, you hear, well, I only want to bowl on sport shot patterns. Well, I don't bowl any good on sport shot patterns. I need to bowl where they're a little easier. Somebody will say that they need to bowl where they hook a little bit more or where the lanes are a little bit tighter because it fits their game. One thing for certain, the juniors that are out here today, they're bowling on a little bit more of a challenging condition, and spares are a little bit more on the premium. You don't see 5 and 6 baggers all over the place, although you did see it a few games. But that being said, keeping your ball around that one in the front, and as we watch Ryan slip by it here in the second frame, keeping your ball around that one in the front and filling the frame will go a long, long way.
Swavely filled the frame on the handicap side, made his spare. And Taylor makes his spare, too, so 20 and a spare. As Isaac is up in the second frame. Allie with a 1-2-4 on 32.
She decided to go the same route that Ryan did. Striking the first ball and then 1-2-4 for the second frame.
There is an out of bounds if you get it a little too far out. Daniel was talking earlier about getting around 7, but if you got it anywhere outside of, say, 3, you weren't getting it back, and there were quite a few gutter balls thrown today.
Yeah, watching the kids earlier, I told one or two of them, I said, you almost want to make the fourth board needs to be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to eliminate 1, 2, 3 from your repertoire for today. And if you did that, then your ball had an opportunity to come back, especially if you were going square to the lane. If you were inside going around it a little bit, like some of the players like to do, well then down the lane, probably 5 or 5-6 wants to be your out of bounds area, so to speak. You don't want to get the ball past 5 because the ball won't recover the right way.
Erickson with a double up on the scratch side.
Pretty good solid finish at the foul line there.
Hit 15 at the arrows, kind of bellied it out to about 10, but as is custom here at Colony Park North, if you don't get the 5-pin square into the 7's not falling.
No. It gets over there that little bit on the lazy side.
Isaac, by the way, is the Pennsylvania State runner-up this year for high school bowling. He actually beat Daniel in the semifinals, and forget the gentleman who won it, but he was from the western part of the state who put up a 279 in the last game.
Pretty hard to beat those games right there.
Yes.
But just watching Isaac bowl, I don't recall seeing him in some of the past PJBTs that I've been to. But that being said, just watch him go to the foul line. He's got a great solid foundation, and it looks like his game is simple enough that he can repeat it. So it really doesn't surprise me that he's in your top 5 here today.
Swavely on a double on the handicap side. Playing second arrow. And finally gets that 4-pin to trip. I watched him a couple times earlier today, and in fact, it might have been on this pair, 31-32. and just could not get the 4-pin to trip. He got it that time. Good clear out by Taylor. Greek Church out, just leaves the 4-7.
Yeah, Ryan Taylor, you know, a lot of people out here in Pennsylvania don't know him very good. Obviously, he's from Hamilton, which is just outside of Trenton, a suburb of Trenton, New Jersey there. But he actually bowls the junior league back at home where I grew up, and with both of my boys, and obviously Sydney as well. Andrew bowls in that league. You know, so we've got a lot of quality bowlers that are coming out of Howell Lanes there with all the kids up there bowling. But you look at his game, his uniqueness. He's got a fairly soft approach for a two-handed bowler. And that being said, one thing that we try to really instill into our juniors, and just like everybody that bowls, is just to make sure that you get up there and you can stick it at your finishing position. All of us have our uniqueness on how we go about doing it. Some go fast, some go slow. Most are one-handed, but a lot more two-handers are coming along the way. But you have to really get up there and finish it so that you can direct your ball in the right spot.
Spare for Taylor. He's down 11 coming into the 4th frame here.
Kind of a lot like Anthony Simonson. I even told him, I said that, you know, that's Anthony Simonson has that soft two-handed release. And I told him, you really want to follow somebody or somebody to look upon, he would be the player to watch.
McGinley can't convert the spare, so she's got 70 in the 5th. You add in her 19 pins handicap, she's got 89. Meanwhile, Swavely trying for 4 in a row here. And he's kind of playing that, he's kind of riding that out of bounds line that you were talking about. Maybe getting it out, maybe to about 6 or 5, but just not getting it out any further.
He's obviously doing the right thing right now.
Needs to hurry.
Yeah, that was on the verge of being out a little bit too far.
Got out the 10 pin, so he leaves double wood, the 2-8. Erickson here on 30, leaves the 6-9. He has to be careful not to chop this one.
That's a good thing, you know, when we watch David Swavely up there leaving just a 2-8. For all of the kids at home that are listening in right now, when you watch your ball come behind the head pin a little bit, if you leave the 2-8 only or just the 2-pin on those errant shots, that kind of tells you either, number one, you're square enough to the lane, and or number two, you are pretty close to having the right ball in your hand. When you throw shots and you consider going up there time in and time out and miss for that 2-8-10 combination or 3-7-9 combination for the left-handers, you need to know in the back of your mind, either you need to shut the lane down a little bit more or put another ball in your hand so it doesn't come behind that head pin.
Erickson made his spare, goes high, and leaves a 10 pin.
Words of wisdom from Parker Bone.
Nice rebound.
Great
by
shot
Swavely.
there.
Yes. So the lead is 17 for Swavely as McGinley goes up. She strikes here. She'll stay within 17. And trouble.
Yeah, that's a little challenging there. Kind of uncharacteristic for Mr. Isaac over there.
So 95 after the open in the 5th. So Taylor steps up 58 and a strike into the 5th.
Somebody by the name of Brittany Himmelreich is watching from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
As well she should be.
Yes.
She went down south and changed her name.
Taylor gets it a little outside, leaves the gate. 1-2-4-7.
Yeah, that's where when you get inside there a little bit, you swing it a little too far, it's going to get lazy on you and just stay there.
And McGinley with the baby split, 310.
She's not getting very lucky hitting that one in the front. Split last frame, split this time, so needs to get off that head pin just a little bit.
Bad break for Taylor as he can't get the 7 out, even though it was a pocket hit if it were a full rack. So 9 out for 86, and he trails by 9 going into the 6th. And McGinley gets 1, so she's got, with handicap, 105 in the 7th. Swavely, if he marks out, will be in the 200s. 7th frame, coming up for Swavely here. On your left on lane 29, Taylor in his 6th.
Kind of fell off that one a little bit.
A little bit of a break as he gets the 4 out to leave the 1-2.
Yeah, that looked like it was a little bit quick. When you watch a player of his status go up there, like I said, he's a real soft two-hander. When he goes up a little bit faster, you can see he really fell off that one right at the foul line. It becomes an errant shot. His ball went wide right, and fortunately he leaves just only the 1-2.
Swavely went inside of his target, went Jersey, left just the 3-pin. Makeable for him. And makeable for Taylor as well as he gets his. Good job switching to the spare ball for Swavely as well.
Confidence. Threw it right where he wanted it, walked away.
Yep. Move on to the next shot. 126 and a spare for Swavely. Lead is now 36 after 7. Erickson trying to rebound from the missed 10 pin. Got 14 at the arrows.
That was a pretty good shot right there.
Comes back really nice. So lead stays at 9 for him. But a little more of advantage with a strike. And Swavely with a 10 pin.
Yeah, a little soft 10. It's all right. Still a good clean shot. Keeping the ball around the pocket. More importantly, hitting that one in the front. So hopefully he can fill that frame there. And he has a pretty commanding lead at the present time over Miss McGinley.
Needs a little help and gets it.
Perfect.
Hooked a little bit at the end there, so 145 and a spare. Erickson gets the trip.
Fortunately, trips out that 4-pin. You know, they say good, clean living on that shot there. I'll tell you what, I've been watching Walter Ray do it for about 32 years now.
DPR 488, where are you checking in from? Is that right, or did you spell that wrong?
Parker, question for you. You're out on tour and you compete normally on the PBA patterns. Do you get a chance to regularly compete on WTBA patterns like Montreal and Sydney and Mexico City and like that?
You know, I only compete in them when we go overseas and bowl in some of the overseas tournaments. I bowled in the Brunswick Open. Great shot by Ryan Taylor there. Bowled in the Brunswick Open in Munich about 2 months ago. To be honest, I do not know what pattern they put out there. And then I bowled over in Finland, in Helsinki, back in January in the Ballmaster. That's a very big tournament. Once again, they use a WTBA pattern. So, but back when I'm here in America, most of the events that I bowl in, we're bowling on PBA patterns. We don't bowl in the world-renowned or the world-named patterns.
Taylor washes out. 1, 2, 4, 10. Swavely on the right lane. He marks, he wins, and he got it.
Guess when you knock them all over, that's the best mark you can have.
So Swavely will advance to game 2.
Ryan a little bit too far behind that one. Never come around it with his hand.
Will it hook? Yeah, it hooked too much. 2 out, 132 after 8. Max of 192 if he strikes out. Meanwhile, Erickson can strike out for 245. He's got 95 and a double here in the 8th. And previously, spare and 2 strikes on this right lane for Erickson. And just didn't have something feel right. Smart move by him, just coming back and resort.
You have to reset yourself. You know, if something's not right or something gets the best of you, people don't understand. But just taking that moment right then, stopping, keeping your composure, put your ball down on the rack, dry off your hand, then pick it up and reset it when you're ready to go. That's the best way to go about it.
So after the reset, leaves a 3-6. Goes a hair high, didn't get it out as far as he wanted to. Meanwhile, Swavely
got his ball out.
205 with just one open.
That's a pretty good game right there.
So he moves on. Meanwhile, McGinley will finish out here with one. She got 114 in the 9th thus far. Will take home 5th place.
Still a good tournament for her.
Erickson gets both. So 143 and a spare. And just to stay comfortable, if he can mark both times, once in the 9th, once in the 10th, he'll be moving on as well.
He's obviously in control of the match, total control of it, but it's bowling. Stranger things have been known to happen.
McGinley can finish here with a 134 if she makes this spare, and with the handicap would be 153. There's 19 pins difference. Got that one inside too. Oh. He had been getting it out to about 15 at the arrows, and that time was about 17.
Yeah, he cut the last one off just a little bit, and that one looked like he did the same there, trying to help it a little. So, you know, I'll say right now for him, he just needs to get his 2 pins and move along from there, but just take a step back, try to understand what went wrong, and I'll say honestly for Mr. Erickson, Lane could be hooking a little bit more. That is possible. He's out there, we're back here. It's much easier for us to see it. But I'd say if he just reaches out a little further and gets the ball, projects it to his target, it's going to read the lane the way that he wants it to.
He cannot be shut out. He's got 167 in the 9th. Taylor coming up 132 in the 8th off an open as well. He can strike out for 192 and force Isaac to fill 26 in the 10th if he gets all 4 here. But need the first one here in the 9th. And can't get the 5 to get the lucky break.
Well, he didn't miss that one at the bottom. He gave it a little extra that time.
So he needs this spare and can punch for 182.
And that'll force Mr. Isaac to get up and get a mark in the 10th frame with some good wood on a fill ball.
That needs to hurry. And it
Well,
did not.
Now the 10th frame's almost basically irrelevant.
Just didn't seem like it came off his hand that clean, that last shot.
No. And you know what? For Ryan, he hasn't had the opportunity to make too many top 5s. He definitely knows how to bowl. There's no question there. But the experience that can be gained by making a stepladder finals, it doesn't sound like much, but those 10 frames of being under the heat of the moment, you're going to look at this situation and say, I know next time I get there, I'm going to do this a little different or that a little different. You're going to learn from that experience. Everybody does.
150 for Ryan Taylor. So Erickson got another ball out of the bag to finish up here.
Good time to do it. It's free practice.
Kind of hit 16 at the arrows and found a spot that he liked.
Well, that one certainly didn't hook early. Looks like he's going to go with that same piece once again and try to get a little bit more of a feel as to what's going on.
hit the same mark. Got the same result.
Yeah, that was a much stronger result. That one actually rolled up and rolled right through him.
197 if he strikes here for Erickson. Jason, I believe Ashton Kozak is our third seed in handicap.
Yes.
And then Alex Glinsky on the scratch side await our winners. And if you're going to drop it, that's a good place to drop it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to lose sleep on that one.
194 for Erickson. So 194, 150 for the victory there. And on the other side, 205 to 151, 53, excuse me. Handicap's already in for the next match. All right. Down to Matt.
Okay, bowling fans, time to give out our awards for game number 1, finishing in 5th in the scratch division, and a $40 scholarship certificate and award goes to Ryan Taylor.
Okay, Ryan Taylor, your 5th place finisher today. $40 scholarship for Ryan.
And our 5th place finisher in the handicap division, a $30 scholarship certificate and 5th place award goes to Allie McGinley.
Allie McGinley, 5th place in the handicap division. $30 for Allie. All right.
Okay, on to our second match.
So the bowlers will.
Matt. What time are you starting next Sunday? 10 or 10:30? Next Sunday, what time are you starting?
All right, so upcoming schedule. Today is the regular season finale. Starting next Sunday, we go into the postseason on the PJBT. Next Sunday, starting at 10:30, is the Bracket Survivor Tournament. As long as you won at least one bracket during the year on the PJBT, you are eligible for this tournament. It is a free tournament, and you are guaranteed to walk away with some money. For those of you that won just one bracket, you do want to be here for the 10:30 start time. If you won two, you want to pretty much be here by 11, and then pretty much just add a half an hour on up until you get to 6. Anything over 6, you all start in round 6. Like I said, everybody who bowls is guaranteed to win scholarship money. That is next Sunday. We will have information up on the PJBT website at www.pjbtbowlingseries.com with more information and start time probably in the next couple days. Then we go into championship weekend, which starts on Friday, June the 2nd,
Yes.
when we have the PBA and PWBA skins match from Limerick. That is Friday night starting at 8 o'clock. It's $5 if you want to get in to watch this. Or if you can't make it there that evening, we will be televising it on our YouTube page. Let's see, who's all going to be there this year? Parker's going to be there. Danny Wiseman, Doug Kent, Marianne DeRupo, Anthony Pepe, and the last person, a newcomer this year, PA, Patrick Allen, will be joining us this year.
So
He is.
So
He's
you
gonna
got
make the trip.
another lefty to put up with now.
Yes.
Well, you know, I keep hearing from the right-handers, they say that our side doesn't break down enough, so I figured if we switched it around a little bit this year, put another lefty out there, then, well, we'll see what happens as things progress.
3 righties and 3 lefties.
So everybody's fair game.
Yes. And then Saturday, we start off with the excuse me, I had a little frog in my throat.
The No Tap Pro-Am.
Yes, thank you. The No Tap Pro-Am, that is a 9 o'clock start time, I believe.
Yes.
And that is open for anybody of any age group.
Adults and youth.
Yes.
Separate prizes, yes.
Yes. And then we have 2 squads of adult junior. I believe it's 12:30 and 4:30, or 12:30 and 4.
12:30 and 4, yes.
And for those of you that cash in the adult junior, you get to go Saturday night head-to-head against Parker to try for the winner-take-all skins match.
That's the fun time.
I believe it's still top 5 scratch, top 3 in handicap. We take the teams, but then we split the teams. The adults go on one pair, the kids go on another pair. Kids bowl for scholarships, the adults bowl for cash right out of Matt's pocket.
Yes. And last year, I forget what the adult won, but the scratch, Michael Martell, he won over $900 in the youth. On the mat.
Bowling fans are bowlers for round 2 of the finals. In the scratch division, we have third seed Alex Linsky versus fifth seed Isaac Erickson. Alex has elected to have Isaac start the match on 29. On the handicap side, we have third seed Ashton Kozak versus fifth seed Ethan Swayze. Ashton only takes the handicap of a difference of 57, and he has elected to have Ethan start the match on 31. Hey, bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our game 2 finalists.
And just to wrap this up very quickly, Sunday morning we will have our season awards presentation starting at about 10 o'clock, and then we will have our invitational finals. All events are at Limerick Bowling Center, and we ask that you prepay online at pjbtbowlingseries.com.
Erickson starting off the match on left lane, leaves a 3-6-10s. If you didn't hear, Kozak getting 57 pins handicap, and Swavely trying to make that margin up quickly with a strike.
So Parker, let me ask you a question.
Sure thing.
If I can remember, I'm going to ask this when we do our Q&A for at Championship Weekend. So a lot of these bowlers, they come in, they see, well, we're bowling on Montreal. I know it's 41 feet. I don't know much else. How would you attack your 10 minutes of practice, only knowing it's on 41 feet?
If I know it's on 41 feet, the best way to start is use the rule of thumb, whatever the distance is, minus 31. And always remember that number 31. Doesn't matter what the length is. If you take it and subtract 31, obviously we're talking Montreal, 41 minus 31, we're at 10. At the end of the break point at 41 feet, or somewhere thereabouts, 2/3 of the way down the lane, you want your ball to be at about the 10th board. Let's see what your ball does when it gets somewhere around that 10th board. That being said, as we watch Alex go light and roll out the 2 to leave the 8-10, that being said, in practice, you throw a few shots there, but always, I say, buyer beware. Make sure you throw 2 or 3 shots outside. See what your ball does outside of 5. You don't know what the exact thing that's going to happen with your ball. But also make sure that you throw a couple of shots inside or around the 3rd arrow, maybe 4th arrow. That way you also familiarize yourself with what the very inside part of the lane's doing.
Yes, that is the 1-7-8-9 that Kozak just left. And almost made it.
Almost made it.
So 25 for him in the second frame as Swavely comes up with a strike. Meanwhile, Glinsky got 1 out there. He's got 9 going into the second.
You know, our PBA tournament director, may he rest in peace, Harry Golden, when I first started on tour in '85, he said, boys, no matter what, let your ball be your guide. And that is such a true statement. It doesn't matter what the name of the pattern is or what the length. Numbers are almost insignificant. If your ball's going to hook back or if it holds on line, you know what? Use it to the best of your ability. The guy that repeats it, or gal, usually will go the furthest in the event.
Glinsky goes high again.
Yeah, Glinsky not exactly having the stellar start. You know, I watched him bowl the very early part of the day today on the first 3 games. Thoroughly impressed. He shot a little over 700 the first 3 games and really kept his ball where it needed to be, controlling not only the one in the front but the pocket as well. And then as the lanes got a little squirrely, it seemed like his ball started reading the lane a little too soon, and he'd move in, try to change his angles. Still kind of fishing around for that exact spot.
Erickson with a 10 pin. Swavely got 3 out on his spare, 2. So he still has 54 pins to make up. Got it out a little too far that time, and
yeah,
bucket with a handle.
Tell you what, watching Mr. Erickson here, he changed balls obviously in 10th frame there last game, and started with that new ball change this game here. Ringing 10 over there.
Makes his 10 pin this time.
But another great quality shot. And I'm interested to see what happens here as he gets up into 3rd frame. He's got to make a small adjustment on that left lane.
Swavely does it the right way, going to the left side of that spare. Makes it.
Covered perfectly.
So 28 and a spare as Kozak goes into his 3rd frame.
Well, he's not going to leave the 1789 on that one.
Went to the left side of the head pin, leaves a 6. Erickson went further, hit about 17 at the arrows, got it further out, maybe at about 9 or 10, and washes out.
Something did not look right in his release. He bent over a little bit too much.
Yeah, well, he looks like he's going up a little faster now. He doesn't have quite that solid finish that he did the first game. Some of that could be adrenaline, and honestly, some of it could be he's a little uncertain as to what his ball's going to do on the lane, so you start trying to subconsciously force it instead of really making a great shot.
2 out gives him 43 in the 3rd. That's only 1 open for him as Glinsky started with 2 opens, but by no means not out of the match. I want to congratulate Alex. He was chosen as a Chuck Gardner's Bowl for Life Foundation Athlete of the Month for May.
Was he now?
Got some nice recognition for it. If you go to bowlforlife.com, the number 4, or search Bowl for Life on Facebook, you'll see a nice bio of Alex as their May Bowler of the Month.
Well, I'll tell you what. Chuck and everybody that works for that Bowl for Life program that they've put together there, they really put their heart and soul into it. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check out Bowl for Life or the Bowl for Life program, please make sure you go to that website and check it out. So congratulations once again to Alex.
This Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, they have the announcement of their scholarship winner. They're announcing their first ever $1,000 scholarship winner. It's going to be a Facebook Live event. And good luck to all those who have applied. From what I understand, they're going to try and do more next year. And we're hoping that Bowl for Life will be represented at the DBH Shootout coming up in July.
Certainly look forward to that.
Spare for Glinsky.
He's on the board.
So 18 and a spare going into the 4th. Winner of this match gets Dylan Zimmerman on the scratch side and Mary Beth Baker on the handicap side.
So whatever the results are for Chuck and Bowl for Life, you guys can text me or email me that message since I will be flying to Denmark Wednesday evening. That's a little better shot. Swishing 7-pin there for him.
A Colony Park 7-pin.
He's much happier with that result than the 4-6.
Just a bit outside for Swavely. 1, 2, 9. Makeable though, with a pocket hit.
By the way, for those of you that are joining us, feel free to comment. Let me know where you're watching us from. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to help. Just like DPR 488 from Camola, Pennsylvania. Had to look that one up to see where that is.
That's on Route 209 between Pottsville and Tamaqua. Drove through it many, many, many times.
You got to be from around that area to come up with that one.
Yes. You blink, you miss it.
Looks like it's just a couple miles south of New Philadelphia.
Yep.
Travis doesn't even have his phone out to know where that one is.
Yeah, Travis is amazing with this stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Strike for Erickson. Great shot for him.
We got
when I used to live in Pottsville, I'd have to go to Tamaqua to Bowl League, and I passed through that town all the time. Spare for Kozak.
It's either that or I'm going to start nicknaming you Travis McNally Sparks.
So we're saying it's about the size of Port Clinton?
I'd say even a little smaller.
Oh, really?
All right, now the big key is, do they have a traffic light?
No, they don't. No, they
Okay.
don't.
So it's the size of Childs.
Great shot that
Erickson
time.
gets about 19 at the arrows, maybe out to about 13, and gets it back nice for a double. He's got 43 and a double after 5, as Glinsky with 37 and a spare makes his way up in the 5th. Kozak can't convert the spare, so with handicap, he's at 136, 79 plus 57 after 6. Swavely is 56 and a spare. He's still got a lot of ground to make up.
Shout out to Dan watching us from Maple Shade, New Jersey. We'll be there in a few weeks.
Father's Day weekend for Best. That just took off on Glinsky.
Yeah, Glinsky's ball, it's reading the lane a little too soon at times, and as soon as he gets in and tries to open it up, it certainly doesn't want to read the lane properly. So he's fighting it a little bit. If there's one thing he can learn from Isaac went what appeared to be a smoother ball and somewhat shut the lane down a little bit. Playing it very smooth and controllable.
That's the hard part with the 3-6-9-10. If you're going to try and play it straight, you've got to be dead on to take out the 9-pin as well. And he tried to roll it straight instead of hook it in and couldn't convert. So 62 in the 5th for Glinsky.
Probably the toughest relatively makeable spare on the right side of the lane, the 3-6-9-10.
Probably the best shot he's thrown this match, and then gets tapped.
Yeah, for no result. Ring and 10.
Same thing by his cousin Swavely on lane 31.
Couple of 10 pins for these gentlemen. Hopefully a makeable spare. That one is.
J Bink, this is singles.
Swavely can't convert, so 103 after 7. And Kozak up. Leaves the 1-3-5.
For those of you that may be watching for the first time, we have the scratch division bowling on the left side, lanes 29 and 30, and the handicap division bowling on the right, lanes 31 and 32.
Erickson misses just barely to the right, can't get it to come back, but takes the 10 out, 1-2-8. And Kozak does not convert his spare, so 42 is the lead right now for Kozak with 3 frames to go.
And we are bowling on Montreal today, 41 feet.
Final regular season event for the PJBT. The postseason begins next Sunday, right back here at Colony North. 90 and a spare now for Erickson, as his lead is 28 as they go into the 7th.
And you did say 10:30 next Sunday?
That's round 1.
Round 1.
That's round 1. I'll make sure I tell my wife to have the kids here for that time.
Now, for those of you that do not start later in the day, we will be running sweeper tournaments all day long as well. So
we'll start the first one at 12 noon, yes. They have a league in there that morning, so once the league clears out, then I'll have the lanes available to start running sweepers. Matt and Josh will run the main part, and I will run sweepers as warm-ups as we have lanes available.
now, usually for sweepers, we do singles, doubles, and adult junior.
Yes. For a little extra scholarship money.
And it's $20 for 3 games, I believe.
Yes.
Can I mail my score in?
Well, you know, it's not sanctioned, so that's totally up to Matt.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Little bit outside for Erickson, so 118 after 7.
Un-Isaac-like.
But he still has the lead.
Yes.
He does.
Strange match on the scratch side.
But if you do notice, he is going up to the line a lot faster now. A lot more errant shots are coming into play, and I know that the lanes are still changing. They're changing every single ball roll down the lane, but he's just got to regain some composure here and get back on track and throw those quality shots that he did the first match.
Could fatigue, both mentally and physically, be taking its toll?
He's got youth. There is no such thing as fatigue there. Alex just 3-6, 9-10 the last time on that lane. Obviously moves in a little bit more, gives it a little more room, and, well, behind the head pin 2-8-10. Definitely not what he was running into early on in this event, starting the day.
This is very unusual for Alex. He normally starts off slow on the fresher patterns. As they break down, his game gets stronger and stronger.
Well, he needs a little help here right now because with 88 in the 7th, he's a much better player than that. We all know that, but he doesn't even have a strike on the board yet. So first thing I would say is he needs to change a ball and find something that's going to enter the pins a little bit differently, because the first 7 frames have not been conducive for anything. Even on his good shots, they're still getting 9. Same basic ball, same basic result.
Looks like Isaac's going to his bag.
Swavely with the conversion of the baby split. That's 121 and a spare. Most he can get is 171, while Kozak with handicap has 145 and a spare. A mark would help, and that doesn't. The count helped, though. So he's got the 6-7 leave here. If he doesn't convert anything, it's 163, which means he would need 9 in 2 balls to advance, and that's going to be the case. So magic number now is
1.
Now it's 1. Excuse me. Yes, it didn't add up the score at first. So keep it on the lane, and you're moving on.
That was an excellent shot by Mr. Erickson there. With another ball change, no less.
Absolutely.
Strike by Kozak clinches it.
Well, for certain, both players are struggling over there on the championship pair for the scratch division. And you got to figure something out here, some way that's going to combat it and allow you to see the lane better.
2-pin.
2-pin, not exactly a bad shot there. Close to the pocket. Fortunately, only leaves 1 pin spare. I'm thinking that he's feeling fairly confident that he can make this lonely soldier at the other end.
A spare by Erickson here. Puts him at 138 and a spare.
Match still isn't over.
And gets it.
Glinsky could find a way to do what we're used to seeing Glinsky do. Isaac will still have to mark in the 10th.
Glinsky has to he's got to dig deep right now. He's got to make 3 really, really quality shots and get rewarded for them. It's 1 right there. Needs a fairly decent shot on the fill ball, but at that point, 9 or a strike is going to do pretty much about the same thing.
So Glinsky with 108 and a strike can still strike out for 168. On the handicap side, Ashton Kozak, his final score with handicap 188. Swavely with his fill ball ends up with 160 and a good 4th place finish today. Glinsky to stay alive.
It ain't over.
It's not over. If you notice there, he didn't come around it quite as much. He didn't look for his ball to really go left on the back end. He kept a little bit more behind it. Therefore, his ball stood up and really kept the lane in control. So that was a really, really great shot that he made right there, but he needs to back it up with one more right now.
He's off to the, what they call SCAD. I believe it's Savannah College of Art and Design, I believe. For 3 in a row. Can't get the break.
No. Fairly good shot. Ball stood up a little bit sooner that time, cutting right through the pins. Good pocket shot. Unfortunately, the 4-9's looking at him. Great player with a very unfortunate score.
155, which means Erickson needs 4. I'll make it 5 on this ball to move on.
I'm going to say that go on a limb and say that's Alex's lowest game by at least 20 pins today, at least for the ones I've watched.
So Erickson needs 4 here. That's good. So Erickson has won 2 in a row, and he'll move on to face Dylan Zimmerman in our scratch semifinal. Ashton Kozak will move on in handicap and take on Mary Beth Baker. So 157 and a spare headed to the fill ball here. Again, our leaders in scratch, Andrew Lazarchik, and in handicap, Ren Williamson, both from New Jersey. Tried a straighter line that time and got 8 for 175. So 20-pin victory for Isaac Erickson as he moves on in the semifinal.
The Battle of the Mid-State. Next.
Okay, well, as there's our awards for game number 2. Finishing in fourth in the scratch division, getting a $50 scholarship certificate and award goes to Alex Klinsky.
$50 for third place.
And our fourth place finisher in the handicap division, getting a $45 scholarship certificate and fourth place award goes to David Swavely.
And $45 in scholarship today for Mr. Swavely.
Hey, nice job. All right, on to our semifinal matches.
Okay, so continuing on with the PJBT postseason, the weekend after championship weekend, we go to the Allentown area for the PJBT Masters tournament. That tournament, you will bowl 5 games at one bowling center on a short pattern and 5 games at another bowling center on a longer pattern. The bowling centers this year are Rose Bowl and Town and Country. I do not know quite yet which center the scratch division starts and which center the handicap division starts. So you can look up information on that tournament as well on the PJBT Bowling Series website. For those of you that do make the top 16 in that tournament, you will return on Sunday. I believe that will be at the Rose Bowl for the double elimination finals. Then the week after, the PJBT is off to New Jersey to join up with the JBT for the Bowlers of Eastern States $5,000 to win. That is a scratch tournament. There is a handicap tournament that goes on as well at the same time for those that have pre-qualified in the handicap division. I believe that pays $1,000 to win. The handicap portion is just a Saturday only. The scratch portion is Saturday, and if you make it to the finals, Sunday. That you bowl 6 games. Go ahead, Travis.
Although we have had people who qualified in handicap end up making the cut to scratch the next day. It's happened a couple times.
The format for the
Nothing wrong with that.
No?
It's 15 years for that event already.
Is it?
Is it really?
I think 03 was the first year that Chuck, Matt, and I put best together, so yes.
Well, one thing for certain that I've noticed with that tournament for you guys is you're mainly based around, let me say, the Pennsylvania. You get a little bit in New Jersey. You branch down into Maryland there a little bit. But if there's one thing that I noticed, that all of the junior bowlers that have any significance from Florida all the way up to Maine, they certainly know about the best tournament back east. And when I say that, I'm going to even say some of the better junior bowlers around the country, even out west. That word between the internet and phones and texting and messaging, I'll tell you, all the really premier bowlers really know about the best tournament.
Last year's winner came out of Massachusetts.
Tom Hankey from Massachusetts. Here's the thing. I don't think a Pennsylvania bowler has ever won best.
Nope.
I don't know if a New Jersey bowler has ever won best. Winners have come from Arizona, New York. A lot have come from New York. Massachusetts last year. Chris Colella a couple of years ago from Massachusetts as well. So it's been from quite a bit from around the country. New York predominantly, but Maryland as well. Matt Gasson won a couple of years ago too. So
well, there's there are a lot of great junior bowlers around the country.
Yes.
And hats off to you guys, obviously, for the tournament series that you run out here. Obviously, there's other significant tournament series around the country, but all of these good bowlers really tend to be together.
Off to Matt.
Semifinal matches for today in the scratch division. And number 2 seed Dylan Zimmerman versus number 5 seed Isaac Erickson. Dylan has elected to start the match on lane 29. On the handicap side, we have number 2 seed Mary Beth Baker taking on number 3 seed Ashley Wilson. Mary Beth will start the match on lane 31, and Ashley will be in the handicap difference of 40. We'll advance to tonight's end for our semifinals.
Okay, just to wrap that up, the format for that tournament is starting at 8 o'clock, 6 games on a relatively tame house shot, and then take a break for lunch, and then 6 more games on what many, many participants have considered the hardest pattern they've ever bowled on. And then for those that make it, they return Sunday morning to bowl for the $5,000 top prize. For those of you that have qualified in a satellite tournament, I believe it's $120 to enter, or you can enter straight for, I believe it's $150. You can, once again, check our website for further information. Okay, off to the semifinals.
Mary Beth Baker giving up 40 pins, and she makes her 10 pin. Meanwhile, Dylan Zimmerman, he elected to start the match and did not get the result he wanted, leaves the 4-6-7.
Mary Beth wasting no time leaving a 10 pin, getting up there and making it fairly easily.
Mary Beth from right here at Colony Park North.
So you're saying she has a long drive home tonight?
But here's the thing. She lives south of Allentown. Her parents work separate jobs, far apart from each other. So
okay.
So she goes to school in the eastern part of the state, and then for the weekend comes back into town here and actually bowls juniors here at Colony North.
That's interesting.
Well, she's making the best of it.
Erickson goes high, leaves a 6 pin.
He's obviously still fishing around. You notice that one there, he got it going way up the lane that time, not giving anything away.
Jersey for Kozak.
So what's wrong with that?
Nothing. Okay, Brooklyn for Kozak.
Okay, thank you.
Here's what and this is a great question as Mary Beth goes Jersey/Brooklyn. What do they call it around the world?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
It's amazing. I've asked that question everywhere.
Okay.
They all call it Brooklyn, except when you're in the Brooklyn area, Brooklyn, New York area. Then they all call it Jersey. So I'm trying to figure out where you guys are coming up with this Jersey strike out here in Pennsylvania.
When I was a kid, I learned if you're a righty and you go left, it's Jersey. If you're a lefty and you go to the right, it's Brooklyn. That's the way I learned it.
Now that's really breaking it down.
Erickson, nice shot. Got to about 18 at the arrows and maybe about 14 for the strike.
And it was because, like, Brooklyn is further east than Jersey. Lefty going to the right side. That's
Now
the
you're
eastern
talking,
side. That's how it was.
Now you're talking geography here. Get Google Maps out and see what part of Jersey is east of Brooklyn, but you got to go north or south out to the ocean.
Then again, this is growing up around the Childs Carbondale area. So,
guys, I'm going to leave that totally up to you two to figure that out. I'm staying out of that conversation.
Okay, Jason, here's the best thing to do.
Yes.
Think of where Monmouth Park is.
Okay.
Okay, you go due north.
Yes.
That's Brooklyn.
Yes.
So there's, and Monmouth's not exactly on the shore, so.
That is true.
Zimmerman having a little bit of trouble here in the first two frames, just like Linsky did.
Yeah, that one didn't look like it come off his hand very good. So, I don't know so much if that's the lane or let me say his release off his hand that time. And it could be one of those subconscious over adjustments, going through the nose for the 4-6 the first frame. You don't want to do that again, so now he's got a washout to shoot for.
And can't get it to go.
Really good attempt at that spare there. For that matter, so did Ashton. Ashton converted. Unfortunately, Dylan leaves an open frame.
So 58 and a spare for Ashton after 4. Here's Mary Beth.
Boy, these handicap bowlers are not wasting any time
I was
whatsoever.
just going to say that same thing. They are off to the races.
3-6 for Mary Beth. So because of that, we'll keep our eye mostly on handicap as they bowl because we know that they'll be done while Scratch is still in the 6th frame.
Yes.
Maybe.
Spare for Mary Beth. Scratch, she's down 12. You add 40 in handicaps, and now it's a 52-pin difference.
Dylan moved in a little bit that time, got his hand around it. Coming up light for the 2-8.
And high for Mary Beth, 3-6, 9, 10. She'll try and hook it in for this one. And
don't slide too much.
Can't get it back far enough, so 68 after 5. Zimmerman with the mother-in-law makes it.
Okay. He's on the board with a mark.
Doublewood, mother-in-law. I've heard all sorts of sleeper. I've heard all sorts of names for that kind of pin.
Once again, that's a conversation I'm going to leave up for you guys.
I did see it in a book written about 30 years ago called The Mother-in-Law, and I thought, that's a great name for it. Kozak in his 6th frame. And doesn't it always happen that way? You get a pin come over, and it takes the one out that makes the spare harder.
Of course.
Lucky break for Erickson.
Not often you see the 6-pin fall forward.
No, but you kind of make your own breaks there. Got the control, got it in the pocket. Obviously a touch high, but with that good, clean release at the end, good things or fortunate things have a tendency to happen.
Erickson on a double. Meanwhile, Mary Beth back up here in the 6th frame for her. That's got to hurry. 2-4-10. 106 for Kozak after his 6th frame, and turkey time for Erickson.
Isaac just found a new home. Not only for his feet, but also for a ball that's going to be in his hand. It looks like it's rolling up very, very nicely.
Not sure I've ever seen him play that far left before.
Maybe he hasn't, but he's just found out that he can do that.
2 on the spare for Mary Beth. She's got 77 in the 6th. The difference now 71 in that match. Zimmerman tried to go a little more harder and straight on that shot.
Yeah, Dylan is a little bit puzzled right now, but still plenty of time left, but he definitely wants to try to figure out how to get to the 1-3. By the way, the leader in the handicap division could be your shortest leader in any of your handicap divisions known to PJBT history.
She's got a title already.
Yes.
And I remember, Jason, did you find out how old she is? I don't know if you mentioned it when she won at Berks. She's probably not our youngest winner, but I think she is our tiniest winner.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll vote for that.
Because I think Nate Davey was a little taller when he won his title, too.
She won at J Lanes, too.
So that was 2 for her.
Yes.
Wow. Kozak with a 1-3-8 and gets 2 out for 115. You add in the 40 pins, he's at 155.
He's got a fairly commanding lead here at the present moment.
1 mark, and it's pretty much done at this point.
Which will set up a vertically challenged and
Yeah,
a little bit of a height disparity.
maybe. As Dylan puts his first strike up on the board there.
Nothing will ever beat the title match we had 5 years ago when Aiden Davis and Alex Horton bowled each other. Both of them combined, you put Alex on Aiden's shoulders, and they were still shorter than Owen Darby. Owen looked over at us. You know, it was Owen Darby and Kevin Beers in the title match. You know, Aiden strike it, everybody's clapping for him. Owen said, "I can't compete against this."
Great shot by Isaac there for a solid 9.
Breaks his string of 3.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that he's going to camp out with that ball not only the rest of this game, but if he's fortunate to bowl in the title match, he's not changing anything at all right now. That's basically the best control he's had of the pocket, I'm going to say, since they've started the title or started the stepladder finals.
Spare up, give him 99 and a spare after 5, and the lead is 33. Zimmerman after his first strike in the 5th, that's now 56 and a strike. Baker made her spare and ends up going too far outside. She'll try and recover with the strike shot here on a spare ball. Ends up with 6, gives her a 102, and cannot be caught, which means Kozak is our winner. Meanwhile, Erickson with another powerful pocket strike.
What's your question there, Kerry? All I see is when is 8?
It's a convincing strike, needless to say. Well, Dylan better make sure that he finds not only the pocket here, but he at least needs to, I'd say, put a double on the board.
Deficit is 33. Needs to kind of keep it within the ballpark here.
33, but Isaac is fairly zoned in at the present moment. That one didn't read the back end.
got it at 14 at the arrows, maybe at about 10, that sweet spot we were talking about earlier, but
Oh,
ends up
She was-
leaving the 2-8.
she was saying Ren is 8 years old.
So Ren Williamson and Ashton Kozak will meet in our handicap championship match. And Zimmerman can only get the back pin out. So he's got 84 in the 6th. Andrew Lazarchik will take on the winner of our scratch match. I want to say a special thanks to our friends down the street at Bowler Supply, who are our sponsors today. Thank you to Terry and Andy Brenneman and the entire gang down at Bowler Supply.
They do a great job for everybody in the area, and not even Pennsylvania or limited to Pennsylvania, but New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, all the way up into New England, Maine included, and I certainly know that they get way down south as well.
They just added, well, my father-in-law works for them as well, and they've just added some runs in, well, they serve Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, also have just started to get into North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia as well. They are not only a pro shop, but they are also a, as their name suggests, supplier of pro shops all up and down the East Coast and throughout the Mid-Atlantic and New England as well. So thanks to the fine folks at Bowler Supply, also the supplier and logistics provider for the DV8 shootout. So thanks to Bowler Supply for supporting our youth. 119 for Mary Beth Baker as she wraps up her 10th frame, and Ashton 152 scratch with 40, handicap 192, and another turkey for Isaac Erickson as he has it in 4th gear right now.
It's really amazing, but if you've noticed Isaac's last 4 or 5 shots, and don't get me wrong, I know that his ball's controlling the pocket, but you can see all of a sudden, instantly, how he relaxed and the solid foundation he's got at the foul line. He's not falling over now. He's not rushing it. He's not running up there. He's not trying to make something happen. He's just letting it happen. That's the toughest thing for all bowlers to remember as we just watch Dylan get up there and throw a good confident strike. For every bowler to remember, it doesn't matter how easy or how tough the lane condition is. You have to relax and make a good composite shot. That's when you make the lane become available and open it up to you instead of bringing you to the lane.
Probably the most frustrating thing for younger bowlers and inexperienced bowlers to figure out is when you're on a lane, when you're bowling on a pair of lanes, you're thinking, okay, that shot worked, that line worked on one lane. I'm going to go to the other side, and that exact same shot is going to work. And 93% of the time, it doesn't, because of because of things that have happened all throughout the day. You know, with all the strike shots that have taken place, all the spare shots. You know, the break point's probably not going to be the same where, you know, from one lane to another. That's the hardest thing for every bowler to try and remember and figure out.
You know, when you say that, Travis, probably one of the most convincing things or element as we sit there and watch Isaac throw another good shot, good swisher there, is let's look at Colony Park lanes here. And for lane man's terms, easy saking for everybody to understand, there's 36 lanes here. And everybody looks at them and go, well, there's 36 lanes for bowling. That means I can play this lane exactly the same as that lane, same as the next lane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just put this in the back of your mind. You go to a golf course, there's 18 holes. Good shot, slaps the 10 out. You go to a golf course, there's 18 holes. There are 18 different ways of putting the ball into the hole. Okay, 18 complete holes from start to finish. And each one of these lanes here in this 36 lane center has its own little green. And that green is from the foul line all the way to the head pin. You have to figure it out.
it's only in recent years and maybe even in recent months that people have started paying more attention to the topography of the lane. And what we mean by that is the lane surface and how it changes from millimeter to millimeter with how many times a ball is thrown on it or into it. And I can even go back into the days of wood lanes and shellac and lacquer way back when, where you had the groove in the old-fashioned lanes in the 30s and 40s and in the 50s, and you don't have that groove anymore. But each lane has its own surface. I mean, it's like looking at a picture of the moon.
Oh yeah.
Each lane's got its own little crater and nook and cranny here and there.
Stellar game for Isaac. 255. By far the best game we've seen rolled by anybody in the first 3 matches in the scratch division.
Had 3 in a row and then 5 in a row from 6 to the first ball of the 10th. So a 255 to 170 victory for Isaac Erickson over Dylan Zimmerman. He'll take on Andrew Lazarchik. And then Ashton Kozak will take on Ren Williamson coming up in our final matches. But first, let us salute those who finished in 3rd place as we go down to Matt.
Okay, awesome fans, it's time to give out our awards for the semifinals. Finishing in 3rd in the scratch division, getting a $60 scholarship. Certificate and award goes to Dylan Zimmerman.
$60 scholarship for Dylan Zimmerman for his 3rd place finish.
And our 3rd place finisher in the handicap division, getting a $60 scholarship. Certificate and award goes to Mary Beth Baker.
Also $60 on the handicap side as Mary Beth Baker takes home a 3rd place finish.
All right, so as we set up for the finals, Travis, why don't you talk to us about your tournament that's coming up in July, right before Junior Gold starts?
Also known as Late Night with DV8.
Yeah.
We don't have any more 3 o'clock or 3 a.m. finishes anymore, or late night squads like we did in Las Vegas one year. We're getting entries. We have entries for every squad right now. We're going to be at Redmond Recreation in Lorain, Ohio, which is 5 minutes off the Ohio Turnpike. And don't worry, folks. It's only 5 minutes away from the nearest Steak and Shake. So yeah, there's your late night meal. It's actually halfway between downtown Cleveland and Cedar Point. As a point of reference from where everything is. It's maybe about an hour away from Wycliffe, where I believe that is the main bowling center this year. You get to bowl 6 games, 3 patterns, 2 games on each pattern. Our squads run Thursday night, 7:15, Friday morning, 11 a.m., Friday night, 7:15, Saturday night, 7:15, and we have switched the Sunday squad. The Sunday squad will now be 11 a.m. If you bowled Sunday night last year, we conflicted with opening ceremonies, so we're going to move it back to Sunday morning, and that'll be an 11 o'clock start, and then we're going to be all done with it by Sunday afternoon so that everybody has a chance to attend Junior Gold opening ceremonies. The deadline for the lowest price possible to pay is June 25th. $100 entry gets you one of the newest DV8 bowling balls, which I don't even know what ball it's going to be. I won't know until the middle of June. Plus, there's plenty of availability on all the squads left. So, and I can tell you Friday night is starting to fill up. So we have about 75 entries so far. And that includes some re-entries as well. As long as space permits, there will be re-entries. And then after June 25th, the price goes up. We will offer brackets and high game again this year, plus Junior Gold qualifying for Dallas for 2018. If you need more information, go online, juniorbowling.com. The flyer is there. Print it out, send it in. We'll get you on the list, and we look forward to seeing you there. We had 522 in all last year. We broke our old mark by 23. We're hoping to break it again this year. We'll also have DV8 and Brunswick staff. Parker's been with us pretty much every year. Chuck Gardner will be there. Ryan Simonelli was with us last year, and some of the local DV8 staffers were there as well. It's a real good time. I'm trying to remember some of the guys we had last year. Chad Zedek, Linda Grace, couple of the regional pros from out in the Midwest as well. We're really looking forward to it.
Travis, that's some amazing event that you guys put on out there. I mean, the people that show up, the kids that show up, once again, you're talking about the best juniors from around the country. They're all coming into town. Everybody knows for junior gold. But the event that you guys put on the floor there and how that all takes place and unfolds, congratulations to you, your staff, and everybody behind you for making that event and building it what it has been over the last couple of years.
And I have to give some credit to Brunswick as well and DV8 for getting behind it, and Chuck Gardner, who flat out told me, as long as you run this event, DV8's in. So I greatly appreciate what Brunswick and DV8 have added to the event as well, and it has worked, and I greatly appreciate it. It's good to see everybody every year. In fact, of the entries we've gotten, it's people who have competed 3-4 years in a row, and I really enjoy seeing everybody every year. So Jen and I and our families are looking forward to having everybody there. I want to thank everybody who was a part of it. Let's go down to Matt for the finals.
Okay, bowling fans, it's time for our title matches. In the scratch side, number 1 seed Andrew Lazarchik from Brick, New Jersey, taking on 5th seed Isaac Erickson, looking to walk the ladder from Linnets, PA. Andrew has elected to have Isaac start the match on lane 29. On the handicap side, we have number 1 seed Ren Williamson, taking on number 3 seed Addison Kozak. Ren has elected to have Ashton start the match on lane 31. Handicap is 33. Ren will be getting 30. Hey, bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our title matches for today's tournament.
33
Okay.
pins. Yep, 33 pins the difference, as Ren will get the handicap this time around, and Ashton will start.
And away we go.
Title match, both divisions underway.
Isaac takes the 7 pin out. Parker, yep.
Travis, I'm going to just allude to one thing to finish up your DV8 shootout there.
Sure.
You said people have showed up, many people have showed up for 3 or 4 years in a row. That's for 2 reasons. First of all, they haven't opted out age-wise. They come out there to bowl junior gold year in and year out, these great players, great juniors from around the country, and they look forward to it. But the second reason is they continue to support that event because of how great you guys all run it. You put something on the floor that they really know is challenging, and they're up for the task at hand, and they thoroughly look forward to it. So it's a win-win for everybody involved.
And just so everybody's aware, you're back on synthetics this year. Lorraine is a synthetic house, Redmond Recreation rather. We were at Hindle last year, and that's an all-wood house. That made it all the more challenging. 12 years this will be for that event, and no one has shot any higher than 298 yet. 298's the record at Samstown, and for the ladies, 290 is the record. The first year we had it at your brother-in-law, Doug Kent's place. But those have been the highest scores of that event. Strikes on both sides. Now Lazarchik leaves a 6 pin as Ashton missed his spare, and Ren gets 2 out.
Ren's just getting a feel for the lanes right now. And as for Andrew, it's amazing. Andrew actually rode out with us today, and he shows up at my house with 2 bowling balls. That's what he decided to bring, 2 bowling balls. He said, that's all I need. I'm going to keep my lines shut down, keep my target in front of me, and pretty much watching him bowl all day, that's exactly the way that he's gone about it. He's played square to the lane and kept the pocket under control.
Andrew told me he's going to make it a weekend next week here at Colony North. The PBA has a non-champions event on Saturday. He'll be bowling in that, and then we've got the Super Bracket Survivor roll-off here next Sunday. So he said, yeah, I'm just going to get a hotel room and make it a weekend here.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
So Williamson with 18. If you add her handicap in, that's 51. So 43 pins for Ashton to make up here, as Erickson with another great strike.
Isaac is he's definitely zoned in. No pun intended there. He's got this figured out right now. It's just a matter of how long it can last. And I would think that the way that he's got things under control right now, if it starts to hook a little bit, he'll just move one or 2 and 1 left with his feet and keep his eyes in there a little bit more, especially since he's only got 8 frames to go in his title match.
Kozak with a spare on the handicap side, gets it about 17, gets it way out, and can't get the 10 to fall.
Well, I'm the kiss of death.
See you next week, Mr. Zimmerman.
And Mr. Zimmerman said he's probably going to bowl the non-champions event. So it's very interesting to see with those non-champions events how many youth give it a shot. I expect to see maybe about 4 or 5 here that we're aware of, that we know of, that we see on a regular basis here with PJBT and youth events from around the area. I'm very curious to see how they do and if it's their first try at a pro event.
Well, it's stepping stones.
Exactly.
It really is. You know, even let me just use Andrew. I know he's bowled a handful of PBA regionals along the way. And one of the big conversations I've had with him is, you know, when you bowl junior events, you start off bowling junior league at home and then it goes into 1 or 2 more junior tournaments along the way. And you start bowling JBTs, PJBTs, and other significant junior tournaments within the tri-state area. It's all a matter of stepping stones. Well, all of a sudden you want to up it and go bowl a PBA regional. You've honestly skipped 2 or 3 levels of competition. There are other handicap tournaments. There's other scratch tournaments for you to bowl along the way before you start bowling those PBA regionals. So you really need to learn it.
Just so everybody's aware, with the USBC Rule 400, it says that you maintain your youth eligibility as long as you bowl, you don't bowl for cash, but you have the option to bowl singles events for scholarship money as long as you sign a waiver, Rule 400. And all the tournament directors should be aware of that, and just to make sure for eligibility's sake for these young men and women that if they, you know, if they're a youth and they want to bowl just for scholarship, they are allowed to. Lazarchik 39 and a spare, looking to build on the lead and can't take the 10 pin out.
No, but fairly convincingly, he's hit the pocket 4 shots in a row here, so.
So a spare here would put him up by 4 here in this title match. Meanwhile, Williamson, 139.
A little bit off, come back, oh.
Gets 1 out, so that gives her 34. We add in the handicap, that's 67. Ashton has 34 after 3. So the lead is still with Williamson as Lazarchik makes a spare.
Spare on the board fills the frames. You know, one thing about Isaac Erickson that's pretty amazing when you think about it, and you want to talk about the never give up attitude. This young man was minus 88 today after the first 2 games. So when you think about that 5-game qualifier, and minus 88, didn't give up, battled his way back, got into that first cut, both 3 games of match play, gets into the top 5 stepladder finals, and now notice, here he is bowling for the title.
And goes high and leaves a 4-pin. Lazarchik had a similar route, shooting 138 his first game.
Yeah, he did. He might have been rock bottom after the first game.
But then 3 straight games over 220. And I believe a 205 in game 5 put him at the top spot after qualifying. And he maintained that top spot.
Great strike.
Yep.
Great strike for Ashton over there.
So he's got 43 and a strike after 5.
Uh-oh.
And he can't convert the spare. So Erickson was 63 after 4. And Williamson with a 5-7.
Don't want to miss a 1-pin spare at a time like this, especially not in a title match. When your opponent, what appears that your opponent is lined up fairly decent, although he only has 1 strike and 4 shots. Andrew looks like he's got pretty good control of the pocket right now. So no unforced errors. You don't want that.
Solid comeback for Erickson with a strike and Williamson gets 1. So it's if you use the maximum scores, it's a 3-pin match on the handicap side.
Yes.
It was always easier for me to use max score rather than
Dutch 200.
yes.
Strike spare, strike spare.
Yes. You always hear Bo Burton saying they're on pace for 220, thinking 20 pins for frame. And
Well, back a while ago, bowling was, for the most part, played that way. Now, bowling is played where 5 or 6 in a row at any given time, or striking out through the 10th, is not out of the question.
Zarchik didn't like that one and left a 6-pin.
No, he didn't like it. Unfortunately, it still hit the pocket. So
He's playing that deep outside line where he's not wavering too much between 4 and 6.
yeah, he's just trying to keep his ball right on line there. Controlling of the pocket, especially when the lanes are a little bit on the challenging side, when you start crossing pairs or going across the center, control of the pocket is the biggest thing. And then when you hit a good pair or 2 good pairs, you can capitalize on it.
So 4 straight spares, 4 straight single pin conversions for Lazarchik, 77 and a spare going into the 6th. Ericsson's got 63 and a strike. So you use max score on here. Lazarchik has a lead by 4. $200 scholarship for the winners of both matches, $100 for second, plus the awards from Crown Trophy. 5-pin for Kozak, off a double.
It's a better shot. Slaps the 7 out.
97 and a strike now for Lazarchik.
Andrew's really been bowling good over the last year or 2. He's made a numerous top 5 finishes, won a couple of events along the way. I don't even know, maybe Travis, you can let me know how many events he's already posted this year for PJBT.
6, I believe. Matt. Andrew at 6. 6. He's going for number 6.
Going for number 6.
I would say he's the early favorite to win Player of the Year this year.
That's pretty strong right there.
Erickson wants something to say about that as he doubles up, keeping it within 4.
Now, as Mr. Erickson ever won out here on the PJBTs?
Yes, this year. What tournament, Dad, did he win this year?
You remember which tournament he won?
Yeah, I know that. I thought he won something this year.
No, so none here in PJBT. All right.
I thought I interviewed him this year.
Well, if he hasn't won any yet in PJBT, he's certainly holding his own right now in the title match.
Well, as I said, he did finish second at States this year, and he did win the eastern part of Pennsylvania, their championship this year in high school. That's the tournament that we bowl before we go to States in the eastern part of the state. He also beat Daniel in that tournament as well. Daniel, who was the number 1 seed, qualified first after qualifying that day.
Really great shot right there.
Taken down by Isaac in the semifinals.
So the difference is still 4 on the scratch side. Williamson trying to convert the 1-3.
Looks good.
And
that's perfectly done.
67 and a spare. You add in the 33 handicap, so we've got a tie match here. Ashton needing at least a spare to keep up. $139 for Kozak. And a strike for Lazarchik.
It's good to see we got 2 close matches here.
I'll tell you what, both title matches right now really appear that they're going to come down to the 10th frame. Andrew Lazarchik finishing up his senior year of high school, already signed, and he's on board to go to McKendree starting the fall.
He and Dylan Zimmerman and Tristan Lyon.
Yes.
So they're going to get some rookies out there for that college.
And Shania Jennings.
But guys and gals, let's say, that are not afraid to get up there and step up to the line and make it all happen. So good luck to him and everybody else that's going out there at McKendree.
The PJBT will be well represented.
4 in a row for Erickson. Try and put one down in the foundation here.
I'll tell you what, neither bowler really looking to falter here. That's a lot of good quality shot making going on the last 3 or 4 frames. So Isaac getting set up and then backing off, obviously, when Ashton got up. That's okay. Just
makes the spare.
Recompose yourself.
So 109 and a spare. He's got a maximum of 159 as Ren comes up in her 9th frame on a spare.
And that's right down the middle, too. Good wood on a spare, that's for sure. A little bit inside, starting up early. Fortunately, breaks down the big 4, leaving only the 4-7.
So with a spare here, Isaac will have 171 and a spare into the 10th. Williamson.
Look at his spare shot.
That's it to hang on for the 7. So 86 and a spare. You add in the handicap, that's 119.
Up by 10.
She's got a 10-pin lead, and Erickson just threw it outside. So with nothing there, that's 177, leaves a max of 207. Williamson.
Another one right down the middle. Look at this.
9 count on a spare.
2 9 counts on spares is extremely good there.
That looked a hair outside, and the 4-pin stood for a little bit and then decided to go down.
Yeah, only for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then the head pin decided to say, oh, no, you don't.
Williamson to make the 8-pin.
Nicely done. Very, very nicely done.
10th frame. So here's what happens here. If Ren strikes, that gives her 158, which would force Ashton to strike out to win.
That's a winner for Andrew Lazarchik in the scratch division there, convincingly.
So Ren gets 9, 124 scratch, add in 33 pins handicap for 157. So Ashton needs 28 to tie, 29 to win, but needs a strike here to start it all off.
No, we know that Andrew just won a scratch division, but let's look at Ren's last 5 shots. 9 spare, 8 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare, 9.
Can't get the lucky break, leaves the 4-5, and Williamson is now a 3-time champion. At
the shortest 3-time champion.
At the tender age of 8. Meanwhile, Lazarchik, 8 on the fill ball gives him 245 for the victory.
Parker, can you stay to do post-match interviews with the winners?
I'm here now. Andrew's not going anywhere because I've got the car keys.
I will gladly give up the headphones so you two can have fun.
No, you're doing them too. I'll work the camera today.
You know, for both of our runner-ups, you know, Ashton in the handicap division, obviously he bowled outstanding for him. I think if he was told that he would finish second coming into today, he would have been ecstatic for that. But Isaac, the run that he made going through the stepladder finals here in the scratch division, there's no easy task to get up there. And the fact that he really put it together there and had some great quality shot making along the way. There's something to be learned by this, but the fact that he got that far, congratulations to him for an outstanding day as well.
Yes. 245 to 184, the final in scratch. In handicap, it was 157 to 136. We will have Matt with the post-game ceremonies, and then we'll have both of our winners come back here for a little chat.
So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. You get to listen and watch Travis and PBA Hall of Famer Parker Bone do the post-match interviews today with our winners. A treat. A lot better than watching this fat guy usually. A lot better.
Don't forget round 1 of the Super Bracket next Sunday, 10:30. It'll be about 3 o'clock start for round 6. Most of you, actually, the largest amount of bowlers, the largest amount of bowlers is in round 2 for next week.
He does. We say it. We say it all the time on the live stream how he is Parker Bone-esque, except you got a little bit of an elbow. You're not locked elbow like. Yes, it is the new game. But other than that, yeah, all you need is the really skinny mustache like he had back in the 80s. Yes.
My first year out on tour, that's what I'm getting.
There you go.
Josh is going to help with our ceremonies here.
Time to give out our final awards for our final regular season event of the 18th season of the PJBT. Our runner-up finisher in the scratch division making a great run today, getting a $100 scholarship for second, and his runner-up award goes to Isaac Erickson.
Isaac Erickson, second place today. Good run up the ladder for Isaac.
Our runner-up finisher in the handicap division, getting a $100 scholarship. Certificate and runner-up award goes to Ashton Kozak.
Ashton Kozak, second place finisher today in the handicap division. Congratulations, Ashton.
And our winners for today, getting his tournament high 6th title of the year, $200 scholarship, certificate, and first place plaque for our scratch winner, Andrew Lazarchuk.
Andrew Lazarchuk, a 6-time winner this year on the PJBT Tour. Your champion today in the scratch division.
Okay, and our winner in the handicap division, ironically winning her 3rd title of the year, and her and Andrew won a couple weeks ago at our major about a month ago. $200 scholarship certificate and first place acrylic plaque to Ren Williamson.
Ren Williamson, 3-time winner this year in the handicap division. All right, so they'll get some pictures. I am going to turn the camera around. We got to get one more small chair back here. Stay tuned with us, ladies and gentlemen. You have been watching the finals of PJBT from Colony Park North in York. Stay tuned for post-match interviews.
One at a time. Yeah, we'll do one first, then the other. We're just gonna screen the shot here. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, you look good. You're the other side of the camera. Yeah.
Perfect. You never look better.
Let's get Ren first.
She could fit right under the table.
Come on around here, behind me.
Congratulations
And
to you.
let's get you fitted up with our microphone here. Yeah, live television, so. Can you hear me? All right, good.
Of course she can.
This is Ren Williamson, our champion here for the handicap division now. I hear this is number 3 for you.
Yeah.
High five. Good job, kiddo. So you come all the way from New Jersey to bowl these, am I correct?
Yeah, basically.
I gotta ask, simply because, an 8-year-old making a long trip all the time, how the heck do you keep yourself occupied the whole time? Are you playing with the phone here all the time, listening to music, just having a blast here, just saying, I don't care if there's any traffic on the road, am I just listening to everything and having a good time?
Maybe she's giving Dad directions.
Are you?
Not yet? No?
So you're not navigator
Okay.
yet. You don't have the GPS in your hand saying get off at this exit.
No.
Not yet. Okay.
She's holding off till next week on that one.
Well, we're back here next weekend, so probably in 2 weeks at Limerick. When did you start bowling?
I don't know about I don't know.
A couple of years ago?
No, this is my first year.
So your first year, and you're bowling in tournaments, and you're getting some nice hardware here. That's awesome.
She's getting a lot of nice things. I even noticed she has a very pretty visible down there too, don't you? Yeah, you like that ball? Looks like it works pretty good for you. You got a couple of strikes during the course of the day, but more importantly, I seen you had a lot of spares there at the end. I got to give you the big high five on that because spares will always get you further in the tournament.
You bowl regular league Saturday mornings?
Yeah, but it just ended.
Okay. You gonna bowl it all in the summertime?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
She keeps winning tournaments. Of course she's going to bowl.
Yeah, she's hooked.
Right. Can you do me a favor? Maybe next week when you come back for the special tournament, can you give Travis a lesson out here on the lanes? He needs a little help with his bowling game.
Because here's the thing, that one of those nice ladies over there is my wife. I cannot score higher than her on the lanes. She beat me in average again this year. Can you help me out a little next week maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Out of the mouths of babes, what can I say? Ren Williamson from New Jersey, 3-time champion. Another high five.
Way to go, especially being a New Jersey girl. Atta girl.
Congratulations. Let me take these from you. And you're free to go. Good job. There, duck. There we go. Next.
I don't know if you can say duck now.
Come behind me, Mr. Lazarchik, our champion. We are not lifting him.
No, he's going to pick us up.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Another victory, 6 on the year.
Way to go, bud.
Yeah.
I don't care what happened about the last game or the match play. I want to know more about that first game you rolled.
First game was great. I think I was tied for last.
No, they actually said that you were second or third from the bottom.
Yeah, I was down there. I bought 138. I hit my ankle twice, and I split. I split a couple other times. My friend Tristan was like, here, try this ball. I struck in the 9th, and then I re-churched in the 10th. I was like, oh, that's great. I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Then I went like 240, 240, 220, 210, 20, 250.
Now I have to ask real fast.
Yeah.
Why would he tell you to change balls if the ball hit your ankle?
Well,
Does that mean this other one's not going to hit your ankle?
No. There were some other bad shots in there,
Oh,
and then
okay.
there were some
All
other
right,
shots
all right.
that got close and didn't strike. So he was like, just try this. I was like, it can't hurt.
Well, I guess it can't hurt. But the one thing I have to give you a lot of credit for is most bowlers, even out on the PBA Tour, are going to pack it in after bowling 138 the first game. And the fact that you only had 5 games of qualifying, obviously with 3 more games of match play, the great thing was the fact that you overcame that, the resilience stuck through, and you just said to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm going to put my head to the grindstone and try to figure out something. It can't get really any worse than 138.
I mean, it can, but you're at the bottom right there.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured the only way I could go was up. And if I miscut, I miscut, but that wasn't the plan. Missing cut was not on my mind the whole time. It was get up there, throw the best shot you can, and make the spare.
Well, you showed proof of that because even in the title match there, I mean, if you want to say patience is a virtue, you really could have thrown in the towel there very early on in the match when you started out with a strike and then you had a couple of 9 counts on what seemed pretty reasonable shots.
Yeah.
And strong. Well, good for you. Good luck in the future. And obviously, you've got a couple of more events coming up this season, but I may not be sitting back here in this set of headphones, so I'm going to say best of luck to you, not only for the future, but McKendree as well.
Thank you.
You are back here next weekend, not only for Sunday for Super Bracket, but you're going to bowl the non-champions PBA event on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to give a go at that. See how that goes.
We expect to see a lot of young talent like Andrew at that event as well. It's next Saturday here at Colony Park North. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Very rare event to have 6 titles in a season hasn't been done a whole lot here in PJBT, so congratulations. Great bowling today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. We're going to let Mr. Lazarchik, we're gonna let him come out. Parker, we're going to slide you over so that the fat man can join us one more time here. And it's been fun getting back behind the microphone and now in front of the camera again. So
Hold
and
on
it's
a second.
Great having you here as well.
Well, thanks, Travis. It's been a lot of fun. That's for sure. Anytime you can come out and you can watch some of the best bowlers in not only the local area, but I'll say amongst our tri-state area. When you watch them go out there and do the things that I know it was a long time ago when I used to do things like this, but now I get to relive those moments, watch them out there. But when I watch some of the things that go on with the kids today, it's just amazing to watch the way that they can go out and play the game. We only dreamed of hooking the ball like the way that they do right now, and they can certainly hook circles around all of us. So congratulations to all of the bowlers that bowled great today.
Great having you here.
Well, thanks.
I've kind of wanted to do this, you and me both in a broadcast booth, so to speak. So I didn't know it, but I kind of got one of my wishes today.
Well, that's all right. And you know what? I know that next weekend I won't be around. Like I said a little earlier, my wife is going to bring the kids out here for the bracket finals that they have. But I'm going to leave Wednesday and go to Denmark. I have to go over to Denmark for 5 or 6 days, and then I'm going to head down to southern France for a few days. I actually fly back home Thursday evening. I will get back into the U.S., and then Friday I'll meet you out at Championship Weekend out there. So if I look a little upside down, or for all of the viewers, if I look a little upside down, just give me a little nudge in the side over there and say, hey, come on, it's not that time now.
No napping when you're with the kids here.
All right.
That's going to do it for us here.
Yes. Season 18.
The regular season is done. The
18
postseason begins next Sunday and
Yes.
and continues the following weekend at Limerick.
Yes.
For PA Fats, for PB3, I'm Boom Boom. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
See you
Take
next
care,
Sunday,
everybody.
guys.